But welcome back to another alternate feature of the world video, and we'll be seeing a continuation of the Russian and German conflict. But let's just get right into the video. This is a brand new map, by the way, you can tell. I still have the older one, but I won't be using it. I'll instead be using this map. You can probably tell some places are very inaccurate, like this is. But let's just get into the video. And what we'll be seeing, Germany moving their forces into Russia. They're moving here, taking all of this. Eventually, Russia will start to lose a bunch of people, and Russia's not doing anything about it because the Russian leader still had not woken up from his nap. But eventually, Istanbul will be taken. Istanbul, I don't know what I'm talking about, but St. Petersburg will be taken by the Germans. By the time the Russian leader finally wakes up from his nap, Moscow will send out a group of soldiers a little too late. But they will be able to do some very pushback. But let's come over here to the United States, where we'll be seeing this area. These guys will have their economy in shambles. Like, these guys are like broken. Their economy is broken. It is literally crazy. And eventually, the United States of America will evince these guys to rejoin. Now America can add another star to their flag. Once again. But at the same time, the Turkish have been putting more troops movement on Israel's border. And same thing with Saudi Arabia. They had been moving a lot more troops lately. On Israel's border, Egypt's been doing the same. Eventually, a whole new alliance will be built up. This will be the anti-American alliance. I'm going to find a good color. We can do green. This will be the anti-American alliance. And this alliance will just replace this. Cyprus will join. And eventually, Israel will be teamed up. Will be teamed on. And we'll be seeing Egyptian and Saudi Arabian forces down here invading Israel. The move up, Turkey will also move in. Eventually, Israel will start to crumble. Israel will be able to do a pushback, but eventually a full-on civil war will break out. Jordan will want to get back their independence. And eventually these guys will be able to push up, taking all of that. Eventually, Slavian and Turkish forces will meet up with Jordan. Here, I have no idea that I said. I don't really know I said that correctly. But eventually, Israel's leader will move over here to this coast, and eventually, this area will be taken, and Israel will fully fall. And now we can check out the peace treaty. And eventually the treaty will look something like this. This is not in Israel anymore. I don't know the name of this country, but it's not Israel. I think it's called Palestine. But eventually, let's come back over here to Russia, to the Russians. We will be seeing the Russians take back St. Petersburg and cut off a very large amount of German forces up here. These forces were stationed here to try to hold on to St. Petersburg as long as possible before the Russians came and took it. But eventually the Swedish will join on the war on the side of Germany. Sweden wants to get back some of their old land. So Sweden will join on the side of Germany, and they'll take massive chunks of territory. They'll be able to cut this area off, but we will come down here to the Congo. We do see the African coalition in the Congo. Will be making their own alliance. Of these nations right here. The Congo coalition will expand their borders over here. I will update this, so this might look strange for now, but it will get updated. But eventually, these guys will join. South Africa will join in this country. Will join. But Western Persia, before anything of this gets messy, they will quickly leave the American alliance and quickly make their own alliance. And this will have these guys, the UAE, Oman, and that's it. That's all in their alliance. But the Italians, But the Italians will invade Corsica, or whatever this country is. Eventually, the Italian forces will move into Corsica. There'll be more focus on taking the coast. But Corsica will be able to do a pushback, and they'll be able to push up here. They'll be able to retake back some of their coastline. And make a landing on Italian soils right over here. We'll be seeing a bunch of people like who's all the way up here. These people will get tired of Italy's ideas on trying to bring back the Roman Empire. These guys just want to be a peaceful civilization, want to turn Italy into a peaceful country. But after these guys started the Italian Civil War, the leader of this civil war, he's very strange. Instead of agreeing with the people, he makes the people actually want to start. Well, actually, he makes the people actually want to be a very expansionist state. And this will allow these guys to push back the Romans. And eventually this area will get pushed back. But these guys will be able to push up into Italy. I don't really know why I called Italy the Romans, but they're not the Romans. But they'll be able to push up into Italy, wiping out this entire area from Italy, taking it, and eventually it will be a stalemate. But eventually, the Russians will start to realize there's an entire another front invading them, known as Finland. They'll be able to take Istanbul, St. Petersburg, and fully take that lake over. And they'll be able to take this. To eventually the Russian public, the Russians will go outside and tell the Russians to try to save one of their biggest cities. And they don't. Well, consequences. And the Russian leader, he will listen to the population a little bit, but at the same time, he's more trying to focus on trying to save Moscow. And eventually that will upset the Russian population. All the way out here, where we will be seeing a full-on civil war break out. The Russian Civil War will begin. But eventually, this entire rebellion up here will start to invade the Russians in the freezing Siberian weather. And there's not many troops up here because most of the Russian forces up here had been moved from here to down, all the way over here. The Russians didn't even think there would be any people up here. People were actually trying to rebel from them, but the Russians were wrong. Because a full-on rebellion up here will break away from Russia. And this will allow Germany to have a little pushback. But eventually another rebellion will pop up down here. Eventually, these guys will be able to take major Russian population areas. And these guys will connect up with this area, separating Russia from the Black Sea and the Caspian Sea. But there will be eventually words will get out that Turkey was funding this rebellion. Sorry about that. That will get cut out the video, but let's come over here to South Korea, where we'll be seeing South Korea joining into the American alliance. And this will anger Kim Jong-un's fat awe. But eventually, Austria will be able to unite. We'll be able to get the Czech Republic to join up with Austria, and that's it. But Japan will get so scared. But they won't get scared. Japan kind of left out. Like Japan left the American alliance. They did not get scared. Don't know what I'm talking about, but eventually Japan will be looking for a new alliance more in the region. I don't know what's going on here. Because the American alliance, they had lost a massive chunk of their coastline, Pacific coastline. They still control Alaska and Hawaii, but Japan will still want an ally in the region, and India will let Japan join into their alliance, because now India has a new ally. Vietnam will join this alliance. Well, South Vietnam. All of Indonesia will join. But America will also get a few or two new allies in the region: Australia and New Zealand. But eventually, we'll be seeing Brazil invade two of the South American countries. And these guys are 10 times, these two are weaker than Brazil. These guys are like a lot weaker, so they will fall first. And eventually these guys will fall all the way out there, all the way over here to this area. And eventually they will also fall to Brazil. The treaty is very simple. They will both just get annexed into Brazilian land. They'll both just be taken over by Brazil, just like this. Just like that. They obviously spared France because France is down here in South America by France Guiana, whatever, Guiana. But eventually, for the last thing in this video, we'll be seeing a very major Russian civil war. This is one of the biggest civil wars Russia had ever faced. And this civil war is very major. Eventually, the rebellion pockets will start linking up with each other. And eventually, they will get very close to Moscow. Germany will take this land right here, setting up many puppet states in the area. But that will be the end of the video. You enjoyed, I know I did. And check out the rest of my alternate feature of the World Series. And hit that like and subscribe button while you're at it. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.